Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Real Talk with Saieed Ali. I am your host Saeed. We do want to thank you for joining us tonight, Wednesday the 30th of November 2022. Firstly, I must say, Real Talk with Saieed Ali, we do apologize for not going live on Monday and Tuesday. It was a very hectic time. Remember, I have workers, they were caught up in the flood. But nevertheless, viewers, we give God thanks that nothing happened to them. They came out today. So Real Talk with Saieed Ali is live on the network. So call your friends, call your family, send them your little message, your Facebook message, your WhatsApp message. Let them know Real Talk is going live on Synergy Network. So I'll give you a little 2 minutes to do that, viewers. But as we go along, remember, those of you who want to be member of the Real Talk Credit Union, that is information. Presently, we are on number 14 Caroni Savannah Road in Shogunas. Remember, you are getting 2% on annual savings, 1.5 to 2% on annual savings. On fixed deposit, you're getting up to 4%. Why would you leave your cash in a financial institution when you are getting 1%? Why would you do that? Everybody wants to make money. Everybody looking for extra income. Everybody wants more money at the end of the year. Remember, we have the lowest monthly service charge than any financial institution in the country. The lowest, and I could guarantee you that. I can guarantee you that. So if you want to be a member of our credit union, that is information, not a problem. We are number 14 Caroni Savannah Road in Shogunas. It's 2386716 or 3391670, 2677325 or 2427690. So Trinidad and Tobago citizens, you're looking for a better banking, you're looking for more money, you're looking for a growth on your savings, you have a fixed deposit and you're looking for a bigger amount at the end of the year, which is 4% we are offering to you, the citizens. Contact us, set up an appointment, come down, open up your account, and it is very easy. It is very, very easy. 2 forms of ID, a utility bill, a job letter, pay slip if possible, and you can open an account. It's that simple. Even the kids, you can open an account for. Where would you go in Trinidad and get an account for your kid? Check for yourself. So once again, I must say a pleasant good night to you, Trinidad and Tobago. It's been 2 hectic days. A couple of hectic days in Trinidad and Tobago, not 2. A couple of hectic days in Trinidad and Tobago. But nevertheless, the government wants you to know that the Ministry of Social Development and Family Service have stated that citizens affected by adverse flooding can now access financial grants via the Critical Incident Response System, which has been officially activated. The ministry offers grants to persons impacted by natural disaster who are eligible for emergency food support, that's number 1. Number 2, up to $20,000 in funding for minor house repair. Number 3, up to $15,000 for sanitary plumbing assistance. Number 4, a clothing grant, which is up to $1,000 per person. Number 5, a school supply grant, which amounts to $700 for primary school children and a $1,000 for secondary school children. Moving along, a grant to cover replacement of household items up to a maximum of $10,000. Counseling support from the Ministry of National Family Service Division. Now, the ministry said there is a critical incident online application forms available to affected persons who have not yet been visited by the Disaster Management Unit of the Ministry of Rural Development and local government. So Trinidad and Tobago, the government, through the social development service, is offering a whole lot of goodies for you. Let's just hope you are qualified to get it. For further information and assistance, one can call a toll-free center at 800-1673. That is 800-1673. Or visit any of the social welfare district office in the respective area, or send a message to any of the ministry's social media platform and you will get an assistance. Not bad. So viewers, in your views now, you the citizen have to be the one now to be taking advantage of this offer that the social development ministry is giving to you. Once you are school grants, school supplies, clothing, sanitary, funding for house repairs, go to a ministry office, give them a check and see what is going on. Moving along, the Trinidad and Tobago Chambers of Industry and Commerce has called on the government to act swiftly to address flooding. The chamber stated that it is even open to discussion to find a solution to the current situation and prevent further distress in the national community. The calls come as the chamber says it's concerned about the impact of flooding and the continuous reports of rainfall, flooding, landslide, collapsed road, and a lack of water. It said, while the authorities cannot control the weather, authorities must do what is in its control and power to address this issue urgently, to mitigate individual stress, loss of income, loss and damage of property, and loss of production. It also noted that the business have been affected by the impact of the inclement weather. They acknowledge additional support will be required over coming days and weeks. So Trinidad and Tobago, those of you who are viewing our program, if your area is underwater still, your area have been affected by water, feel free to call in. 238-6716 is the number to call in. We want to hear from you. We want to hear about the water level in your community. We want to know about the damages. Remember, this is our Public Concerns Night, and we are live right here on Real Talk with Saieed Ali. Agriculture Society of Trinidad and Tobago President Darrell Rampersad is warning the country that the price of food will now be at an all-time high after flood loss once again inflicted on farmers over the last few days. Rampersad said the farmers had incurred 100% loss with the most recent flooding event. While he called on the government immediate financial assistance to the farmers, he said this will only be a short-term solution. Imagine that, farmers throughout Trinidad and Tobago, with this flooding that have been taking place for the last couple of days, I could imagine they have lost everything. They have lost everything. Baldeo, another farmer, states that he is now fed up with his hard work being washed away. He said the weather typically takes 2 weeks to reside. The water typically takes 2 weeks to reside from the land, but they need an additional month after it does to allow the soil to dry. Imagine that, you're waiting 2 weeks for this water to run out, and on top of that 2 weeks, you have to wait a month for the soil to dry. So that is actually 6 weeks right there. So after that 6 weeks, now you're going to prepare the land. It's sad. It's sad. So viewers, we are going for a short commercial break, but when we come back, we're going to talk about Sinanan and infrastructural a factor in flooding right after this break.
'Tis the season, 'tis the reason for live Parang entertainment every Friday from now until Christmas from 7 to 8 p.m.
Good night, what do you know? We are having fun. It's the Christmas season. It's time for giving, loving, sharing. What is it?
Yeah, yes man, I'm a parangero. I think so can shut me also. So my prang no shoot bego. So my prang no send me loco. I'm a parangero. I think so can shut me also. Just season them, but I drink your cook them.
Real Parang, Real Talk with Saieed. Yeah.
Tired of wasting precious time at the bank applying for a loan, only to be denied? We understand your frustration. Here at Realtalk Group of Companies, we take a different approach. Contact Saieed, Managing Director of Realtalk Group of Companies and licensed moneylender at 238-6716, 242-7690 or 339-1670. Feel free to visit our office at number 14 Carney Savannah Road, Chaguanas, or number 132 Superior Road, Victoria Village, San Fernando.
Realtalk Credit Union stores are now open to members of the public. We are located at the Realtalk Group of Companies building at number 14 Carney Savannah Main Road. Opening hours are from 8:30 a.m. to 4:30 p.m. Contact us via telephone at 238-6716 or 231-6219 to book your appointment. You can also find us on Facebook at Realtalk Credit Union.
Welcome back to Real Talk, viewers. Minister of Works and Transport Rohan Sinanan have stated that the age infrastructure contribution or contributes to the type of flooding seen in recent years. He said is something the government is working on improving. Questioned about the government's effort to mitigate flooding, he stated the government of Trinidad and Tobago is currently at the height. Now we are in the rainy season, so flooding should not be a surprise. He said rainfall is increasingly annual and this is a phenomenon that the world is trying to cope with. Listen to this.
The areas that normally will pond water, areas that you expect flooding, unfortunately, we have taken up most of these low-lying areas and converted them into residential, commercial areas. And so what you find happening now, as the Minister of Local Government said, we have had almost, 100% more, 180% more rainfall. And it seemed to be happening like that every year. We keep getting more and more rainfall. At the end of the day, in the rainy season and the height of the rainy season, you will get this sort of flooding. It's not only happening here in Trinidad, it's happening around the world. This is a phenomenon that the world is trying to cope with.
Now, viewers, the minister added that TNT has aged infrastructure and noted that most of this infrastructure was built for a certain amount of rainfall. Listen to this.
Infrastructure here is aged and it catered for a certain amount of rainfall. Right now we are exceeding that rainfall every year, and this year by 180%, from the figures from the Minister of Local Government. Any part of the world, the infrastructure with that increase in rainfall will be challenged.
So Trinidad and Tobago, is the government moving together with climate change? Ask yourself that. Ask yourself that. Is climate change a thing for the government to discuss? He said the government will improve this to plan for not only what is happening now, but what we can expect in the future. So imagine this, are they planning for climate change? Are they planning for climate change? What is the plan? How far are you all in planning? We have some visual. Flooding. Imagine that, Look at that. Flooding. More rainfalls. So, according to CNN, what I would say is that yesteryear they were catering for 2 or 3 months of rain. But in present day, they are probably still catering for 2 months, 3 months. Climate change. Climate change. Are they thinking about that? Look at that. People are being marooned in houses, lost their car, livestock, house, landslide all over Trinidad and Tobago. Now we cannot blame the government for flooding or rain. Because sometimes if there's a spring tide and too much rainfall, water backs up. Water backs up. But they have to have some sort of plan in place. Some sort of disaster management plan. We are not the US. We are Trinidad. There's 1.4 million people in our country with billions of dollars circulating in our economy. In our economy. So as we move on tonight, viewers, 2386716 is the phone line. Let your friends and family know Real Talk is going live on Synergy Network. Here it is. With decades worth of studies already done, Works and Transport Minister Rohan Sinanan has admitted that there is still no fully operational plan to eradicate flooding in Trinidad and Tobago. This man is shame. This man is shame. Where is the drainage department in Trinidad? However, he promised to get boots on the ground as improvement are expected to be made in the future. Hold on with that video. So I want to ask Sinanan, this year would have been 7 years they in power, the PNM. How much more into the future are we going to experience this before something is actually done? How much more into the future do we have to wait before something is being done? I saw him in some area in Trinidad where the people were actually running him. Take a listen.
Mr. Deputy Speaker, in 2011, there was a study conducted which was handed in 2011. I think it would have been March of 2011, where the Cabinet of Trinidad and Tobago sat on this study done by the Royal Haskini Company. And that indicated what should take place in Mayaro. The then government sat on this 2011, 2012, 2013, 2014, and 2015 and did nothing for Mayaro. But today...
Okay, they did nothing. 2012, 13, 14, 15. You are presently there for 7 years. Say something that you have done in 7 years. You see, the thing is, all you're always looking behind all your shoulder, all you're always looking at the past, look at the future henceforth. What have you done in 7 years? You're talking about UNC back then. 7 years you sitting on as a minister. What the hell have you done? Call her good night.
Good night, Mr. Saeed.
Go, you're live, go right ahead.
Okay, Mr. Saeed, what it is Mr. Rohan Sinanan and Mr. Faris Alwari is saying to the people of this country. Where is all the money for the infrastructure that's supposed to take place in this country? Where is all? You want to tell me now that, Mr. Saeed, this government is borrowing $160 million US to do road infrastructure in the street? Taxpayers' money have to pay back that? Mr. Saeed, I am making a call for the ministers of this government to come and go and spend Christmas Day with all the flood victims in the country.
Said.
Sit down with them on Christmas morning and talk and say what all they have been saying all the time. Or shut all them out and come on the TV and come on the government. Thank you, sir.
I love that. I love that. So here it is now. According to Sinanan, the National Drainage Plan will not take into consideration smaller developed drained, crediting the responsibility to local government bodies. Listen to this.
The problem, as expressed by the Member of Parliament, may sound very simple. Just go in and fix everything. Fix everything. Mr. Deputy Speaker, I've seek your permission to actually display and to show that the ministry is not operating by guess. We are actually operating with the studies and exactly what we are dealing with in the area. If I'm just to show a map of Trinidad and Tobago, and I know it might be difficult to make out, but this is the soil type in Trinidad and Tobago. This is another map of the Mayaro, Rio Claro area. And what this says is that the clay, the soil type in these areas is clay, is sand and sandy clay and swamp clay, Mr. Deputy Speaker.
So Trinidad and Tobago, he is here for 7 years, did studies of clay, but condemned the UNC government for 4 years. Think about that. So while you're thinking about that, we're going for a short commercial break, but when we come back, I'm looking for information on a certain company and an individual right after this break.
Real Talk Credit Union stores are now open to members of the public. We are located at the Real Talk Group of Companies building at number 14 Grony, Savannah Main Road. Opening hours are from 8:30 a.m. to 4:30 p.m. Contact us via telephone at 238-6716 or 231-6219 to book your appointment. You can also find us on Facebook at Real Talk Credit Union.
Tired of wasting precious time at the bank applying for a loan, only to be denied? We understand your frustration. Here at Real Talk Group of Companies, we take a different approach. Contact Saeed, Managing Director of Real Talk Group of Companies and licensed moneylender at 238-6716, 242-7690 or 339-1670. Feel free to visit our office at number 14 Carney Savannah Road, Chaguanas or number 132 Superior Road, Victoria Village, San Fernando.
Tis the season, tis the reason for live Parang entertainment every Friday from now until Christmas from 7 to 8 p.m.
Good night, with you. Know we having fun at the Christmas season. It's time for giving, loving, sharing. What is it?
Yeah, yes man, I'm a parangero. I sing so and shut me also. So my crown no shooting bego. So my crown no send me loco. I'm a parangero. I sing so and shut me also. Just these on them, but I drink your cook them.
Real Parang, Real Talk with Saieed. Hiya!
You ready? So welcome back to Real Talk, viewers. Joe finish? So here it is. I'm looking for this man. Information on this man. Nash Lee Andrew Samuel. I believe he runs the CSS media company. This company. Anybody in Trinidad and Tobago hired this company to build a software for them? Anybody? I'm looking for information. You see, I will tell you something. Saieed is a man real cool and nice, sir. I love dealing with the public. But you see, when you come around me with a certain type of method, it don't work. It don't work at all, at all, at all. So, friends and family of this man, Ashley Andrew Samuel. I do apologize. Andre Samuel. So I do apologize. Nash Lee Andre Samuel. I believe he managed the CSS media company here that you are seeing on screen. Anybody know about this individual? Contact me. 339-1670. 339-1670. And I will run this until I get information. I'm going to tell you something. Coming to business, I am a different kind of man, you know. I will tell you that I am a different kind of man. But nevertheless, that's for tonight. There's a rerun of this program tomorrow at from 11:30 to 12:30 p.m. And you will also see it there. You don't run and hide under the carpet. You come and face me. And let me fix the problem and move forward from there. So Trinidad and Tobago, Works and Transport Minister Rohan Sinanan have stated neither he nor the government is to blame for the collapse of parts of Mazalana Mayara Road last week. We understand that, Mr. Sinanan. We understand that. But listen this. He reminds MPs that a former UNC-led People's Partnership government received a report in March 2011 about how to address flooding in Mayaro. Sinanan said, the study suggested that the majority or the major part of Mayaro had to be relocated, but the People's Partnership took no action. He also recalled that a similar collapse of the Manzalana Mayaro Road happened in 2013 under the PP and said the former government did nothing to address it. Listen now to what Rohan have to say.
Mr. Deputy Speaker, in 2011, there was a study conducted which was handed in 2011. I think it would have been March of 2011, where the Cabinet of Trinidad and Tobago sat on this study done by the Royal Haskini Company. And that indicated what should take place in Mayaro. The then government sat on this 2011, 2012, 2013, 2014, and 2015 and did nothing for Mayaro. But today...
That was a playback. What did they do in 7 years? They have the report. They have the report. And what did they do for Mayaro Manzalana? Nothing. But you're going up on a platform to talk about UNC 12, 13, 14, 15. What did you do in 7 years, Rohan? Absolutely nothing. You have the reports. Facts is what we deal with right here on Real Talk with Saieed Ali. So here it is. He said, this has contributed to flooding in Mayaro since 1960s. Sinanan added that the problem has been made worse or worse, owing to challenges posed by climate change. They're not talking about climate change. Listen this.
The problem, as expressed by the Member of Parliament, may sound very simple. Just go in and fix everything. Fix everything. Mr. Deputy Speaker, I've seek your permission to actually display and to show that the ministry is not operating by guess. We are actually operating with the studies and exactly what we are dealing with in the area. If I'm just to show a map of Trinidad and Tobago, and I know it might be difficult to make out, but this is the soil type in Trinidad and Tobago. This is another map of the Mayaro, Rio Claro area. And what this says is that the clay, the soil type in these areas is clay, is sand and sandy clay and swamp clay, Mr. Deputy Speaker.
So what did you do in 7 days? Okay, we understand the UNC did nothing in their 5-year term. You are there 7 years, and what are you doing? Same thing, nothing. That is the Manzalina Mayaro Road. Presently. You did nothing. So why complain of a party that lost the general election 7 years ago, did nothing? You are here 7 years now, and what? Doing what? Nothing either. Vice versa. Vice versa. Caller, good night.
Yes, sir, good night.
My friend, go right ahead.
Saeed, I see you're touching on something.
You know we're dealing with the real issues.
Yeah, well, first of all, Paris, I'm not even supposed to be in our cabinet no more. After all that, and the man clearly does not know what he's doing in local government. He's just trying to fool people into thinking he knows what he's doing. That's the first one I hear. Say, water coming up with your structure. I don't know if you went up your house on your back and walk with it in the next street. I don't know where it is yet. Try to say it, but he don't know what it is he really doing it. As for Rohan Sinana's right, Rohan Sinana talking about Manzalina step, not my arrow step. He won't come out and say who owned the house on hill opposite Manzalina. He ain't coming out and say who owned that house. Wait, he ain't coming out to say who owned the house that blocked the river course from the water running back into the ocean. That's why the water eroded the whole road and caved down the whole road.
Boss your shot.
And when you come out and say who it is owning the property, that actually the whole swamp river for the water to run back out in the ocean. They back for the whole thing, they make a driveway to the house on the hill opposite the beach resort in Manzalina. Anybody going up there, what it is they're talking about. Them is the people that cause that whole road to fall off. And let's find out who owns the house, that is the person that are accountable for that. And as far as the flooding going inside, all the bamboo and all these places and
all over.
If it is the people who was contracted to do the work, to dredge the river properly inside, it never happened.
Correct.
Because the deeper the river is, the more volume of water the river is going to hold. It is not going to stop over like what happened there. And people have this tendency, they just wait till water reach your neck and your chest to go and put on the pump for the people in bamboo and around well and all over.
Correct.
You're supposed to have an automatic system whereby when water reaches a certain level, a sensor will kick on the pump and the pump will start to pump the water back out. And people in bamboo claim inside that the contractor that do the work, the man takes bamboo patch and make up the river bank. And when the water come up, it push everything down and start flowing inside bamboo number 2. So you see, the problem we have in your side, the problem we have in this country, we have no quality control under this government.
Thank you.
And my last question I want to ask you one question. Where is the president and where is the prime minister? The two of them hiding in a hole. I hear the president come out from the hole and she say something about two deputy commissioner police.
Police
Nobody is talking about a commissioner police getting her. I don't know what the police service commission do it, But I'm talking about that commissioner of police. I'm talking about deputy commissioner.
Correct.
Oh God, Madam President, come out and say something on behalf of the nation too now. Anyway, sir, enjoy your night.
Thank you, my friend. So here it is, viewers. Minister of National Security Fitzgerald Hines have stated that various branches of the protective service have been deployed to flooding areas to work alongside the Office of the Disaster Preparedness and Management, that is the ODPM office, to bring relief and supplies to residents. Speaking during the Ministry of Local Government and Rural Development virtual media briefing on Tuesday, Hines reported that members of the Defense Force were practically active in facilitating the movement of persons and resources. He added that the Defense Force also worked to move patients from the Mayaro Health Facility to other hospitals and transported technicals from the Tiantec Electricity Commission to restore power in Mafikin area. Listen to the minister.
In those circumstances, I must report that the Defense Force, providing support on request from the Housing Development Corporation, the HDC, provided transport today for some of the residents of Rail Spring, Valsain. As you would have heard before, that area was particularly hard hit by these events. The Defense Force deployed 1 troop carrier and 2 water assets with operators from the Trinidad and Tobago Coast Guard in support of the work and the operations in that area. A troop carrier was also deployed to Mafiking to assist personnel from the Trinidad and Tobago Electricity Commission who had work to restore lost electricity, lost power in certain inundated areas in the Mafikin and surrounding areas.
Hines, we thank you for that. We thank the Defense Force. We thank the Tiantec crew for coming out. But hear this. Hines also states that TTPS came out in their numbers and had several patrols along the Beetham Highway, Churchill Roosevelt Highway, and the Uriah Butler Highway. Listen to this.
Individuals, businesses, and NGOs on this occasion, Nanan's Bird Sanctuary Tours, provided one of their boats in support of the people in Bamboo Settlement and supported the work and the operations today. And the Red Cross mobilized itself and provided meals to the people of Bamboo Settlement number 2, and that is to be commended in this whole of society response to this whole of society problem. The Trinidad and Tobago Police Service, on the other hand, led by Senior Superintendent Maista, who leads the Traffic and Highway Patrol Division of the Trinidad and Tobago Police Service, recognizing that as a result of these floods, as a result of the inundation, as a result of water coming from the Caroni, as you heard, coming on, particularly in the vicinity of the Caroni overpass, they came out there, and in particular, we have several patrols out there along the Beetham Highway, cycle patrols along the Churchill Roosevelt Highway, the Uriah Butler Highway, and the Caroni overpass area that had this particular problem. Patrols are out there ensuring that the traffic moves.
Now, viewers, a collapsed road and flooding in parts of central Trinidad left dozens of residents unable to access their homes over the weekend. Several weeks ago, a sinkhole appeared along Arena Road in Freeport, which connects the Freeport to Caparo. Shortly after the sinkhole developed, employees of the Kuva Tabaki Talparo Regional Corporation began repairs. They almost completed the job last week when a leaking water line caused about 10 feet of the road to collapse, rendering it impassable. One resident who lived a short distance away stated that the residents were being slowly cut off over the past several months. MP for the area, Anal Ram, stated that on November 19th, he connected local government minister Faris Al-Rawi. He contacted Faris Al-Rawi seeking assistance to have the road repair. He said engineers were sent out to assess the situation, but no work have started or even done. Look at that. Look at that. How long would it take to sort out that? How long, Trinidad and Tobago? How long? Allen Road, Tabakit, which is access road to Brasso. To Brasso, the government primary school, as well as Flying Tongue, where teachers and children have to pass. Vehicles that pass on a daily basis are sometimes stuck in depression since the road has narrowed to half its width. The residents are pleading with councillor for the area, Mr. Henry Awong, for assistance because if there is an emergency, they have nowhere to pass. Look at these road conditions throughout Trinidad now. Caller, good night.
Good night, Saieed. You know, isn't this very inhumane of this government? Isn't that misbehavior in public officer? Look at, you know, we see so often, you know, it is being displayed, the mouth of the Caroni River. You know, they said you could have a maxi taxi hop day.
Yes.
It was not dirty, and that is the cause, because the water cannot run out. You know, I have seen none of the rivers have been cleaned, nothing this government did. Them is what they did, the lack of non-performance, the lack of performance is what leads so much people to suffer. Look how much people suffer, sir. And, you know, I heard it on television. 12 million was allocated for this purpose, spent 1.5 million. Is it that the government, is it, you know, I don't know, I'm asking, is it this money that they did not spend? Is it that what they used to spend on Balize House? I don't know, sir. I am asking whether this money is what was used. Now, didn't on the last occasion Greenville was flooded? Was there ever a reoccurrence of that flooding? No. Blatantly no. Why? They took steps to block it. In the same way that they took steps to block that Greenville flooding, why can't you take the same steps in the opposition area? Is it discrimination? Is it that Dr. Rowley is happy when these people are suffering, sir? Isn't that a crime against humanity? Look, people have walked up to their neck for days. And just because this man took money, I mean, I don't know, I'm asking whether they took the money for Balize House. Why can't you clean the water courses? Look, people come out and say since 2018 they get nothing. And up to now they still didn't get nothing. When Greenville, I have no problem with them, you know, sir. When they get money in 3 days' time, they got money in 3 days' time. Isn't that misbehavior in public office? When they spend so much money, you hear they're giving out this grant, that grant. That is only for a certain ethnicity, sir. Why didn't you use the money? Look how much families is distressed, sir. Look how much families. You know, when Kamala was there, I think when she was swearing in, if you could get that video, sir, the very day she leave the swearing, as soon as she was sworn in, put on tall boots and she was in the flood. Where is Dr. Rowley? Where is he? He is going on Facebook and put posts. Where is our president? Is it that they don't care? You know, this leads me to the question whether this government really and truly won that last election, you know. This is the question that has to be answered. It is unfair to our citizens to tax them so much. You want to bring property tax, you want to bring this tax, you want to bring that tax. I don't know, but I say people are not getting value for money. Don't pay no blasted tax. Thanks a lot, sir.
Thank you, my friend. The Vancouver Main Road has suffered a major collapse on Monday. The road started falling apart on Saturday when it dropped as much as 3 feet in some areas. The heavy rain over the weekend compounded the problem and the road dropped further on Monday. The 100+ residents of Pepper Village, La Vega Village, to the east of the landslide also added that they are now cut off and will have to make a detour through Brasso, which is also plagued with flooding and landslide. Caroni Central MP Anal Ram stated that another landslide at Bachasing Street and the Grand Couva Main Road also worsened. He said a report was sent to the Ministry of Works. Ram said a Wassa main in the La Vega area also gave way, and he added in Central suffering from geographical neglect, with the government placing emphasis on disaster in northern Trinidad. Caller, good night.
Yeah, good night, Mr. Saieed Ali.
Your live, go right ahead.
I want to ask something through your show, sir. A few nights ago in the UNC meeting, we heard our opposition leader said that she is going to write to PV Council asking them to give she a speedy resolution as to the election and the removal of the election and the stopping of the dissolving of the councils on the 3rd of December. So we are asking the opposition leader to please make it public whether she had get through or not. Saieed Ali, you want to tell me that the law of this country allowed them to do that before the election, or was that supposed to be done after the election? Saieed Ali, you give me some enlightenment of what that situation is about. You would have more experience than me. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, my friend. So viewers, we are going for a short commercial break. When we come back, we're going to go straight up to Prince's Town side to talk about landslides after this break.
Tis the season, tis the reason for live Parang entertainment every Friday from now until Christmas from 7 to 8 p.m.
Good night, good you know we are having fun. It's the Christmas season. It's time for giving, loving, sharing. What is it?
Yeah, yes man, I'm a parangero. I think so can chop me also. So my crown no shoot bego. So my crown no send me loco. I'm a parangero. I think so can chop me also. Just these on them, but I drink your cook them.
Real Parang, real talk with Saieed. Hiya!
Real Talk Credit Union stores are now open to members of the public. We are located at the Real Talk Group of Companies building at number 14 Caroni Savannah Main Road. Opening hours are from 8:30 a.m. to 4:30 p.m. Contact us via telephone at 238-6716 or 231-6219 to book your appointment. You can also find us on Facebook at Real Talk Credit Union.
Tired of wasting precious time at the bank applying for a loan, only to be denied? We understand your frustration. Here at Real Talk Group of Companies, we take a different approach. Contact Saieed, Managing Director of Real Talk Group of Companies and licensed moneylender at 238-6716, 242-7690 or 339-1670. Feel free to visit our office at number 14 Caroni Savannah Road, Chabonas, or number 132 Superior Road, Victoria Village, San Fernando.
So welcome back to Real Talk, viewers. This is just in, more or less we would say, breaking news. So here it is. UNC is now claiming that a river located near the minister's home is the cause of the Manzalina flooding. Listen to this.
Mr. Deputy Speaker, just recently we had an issue on the Manzalina Road. This issue didn't just happen overnight. This is an issue that have been happening for a while. And, you know, the response from the UNC was to go on a Monday night forum and draw a picture of my house and draw a yellow river running through my land and claim that that is the cause of the flooding. Mr. Deputy Speaker, foolishness. Total foolishness. But I understand when a leader gets set up by people who don't know and they're trying to make an excuse.
What do you have to say now, Trinidad and Tobago? Caller, good night.
Hi, good night.
You're live on Real Talk with Saieed. Go right ahead.
All right, thank you. I want to bring to your attention, some 30 years ago, under the Pak administration, an interministerial team headed by Ganga Singh and John Humphrey.
Okay.
They actually cleared the mouth of the Caroni River. When the hydrographic survey was done, it was realized that the mouth of the river had to be cleared from 2.5 kilometers out at sea. There is no equipment that any contractor in Trinidad has that could undertake that work. Equipment was bought in from Holland by a company called Boscalis. The piece of equipment is the EDAX. You could go on YouTube and watch and see what is the capacity and capability of the EDAX to deliver the power to do that work. Starting from 2.5 kilometers out at sea, 200 feet wide and 40 feet deep, coming up to the river mouth. When it reached the river mouth, a submarine net was encountered. The problem with the submarine net is that it entraps debris at the edge of the mangrove, so that when the water has to overspill in a shallow depth, it cannot climb over the debris that is built up by the submarine net. So only the piece where the channel was, the 200 feet, that was cut. Now, do not believe that the channel will be silted up, because that is old talk from the ministry, because all the navigation channels for shipping and so, if it will be silted up, those channels are in the sea, just like the channel that was cut to go into the river mouth. When they entered the river mouth, they had to use another piece of equipment, a clamshell, that was picking up 50 cubic meters of debris in one drop and going down 10 feet deep. So when you drop it and you pick up 10 feet of material with all the mangrove that overgrow the river, and you take it up and sidecast it, you're sidecasting that 40, 50 feet away from where you dug. So you were doing it at a rate that could be productive. No small excavator floating on a little barge or no little Jimmy John suction barge that anybody has in Trinidad could do that work. That has to be done with the kind of appropriate equipment, and unless the government take note and do it, and put the ministry staff aside, because all of them sharpen up their teeth like hawk right now, waiting to see which one of the contractors they could put on the job, because money going to pass. So you have to be very careful with passing money to get production. And unless they do that and engage, now some of the meanders, it is so meandering that when it leaves the river and goes from south to north, right, and then flows from east to west in the meander, and then goes back from north to south to the river. The distance between the meander where it leaves the river and go back to the river is about 300-400 feet. All that does is reduce the flow capacity of the river. What is necessary, you just have to cut that out. And you need the right kind of equipment to cut that out and take out. You can leave the meander, but just cut the river straight. Now, you need to continue to go right up. The other thing is, characteristically, the river in the floodplain flows above the level of the surrounding lands. And let me demonstrate that to you. If you sit down, if you look at the river from the Caroni River Bridge, you'll see that the river banks is about 10-15 feet higher than the land in the surrounding area. And once that water overflows the bank, everything on the surrounding area, if the water flows away from the river and inundates everything. Now, if there is roads offer the path of least resistance to flow. And once the water takes the road and there's a gradient on the gradient on the road accelerates the flow down the road and causes more damage and carries water where it should not go. Now, the other thing, the belief that EMA CEO talking about Weimar should be left for flooding. The problem is that these people, they run in a department where they do not know that when you send contaminants and you put it in an area that's a sink, you will damage the whole area. the amount of contaminants you will put in Weimar and the amount of from farming and from commercial contaminants, you will make Weimar sink and you will have dieback in the mangrove. You will kill the entire mangrove. Which one is more sustaining the mangrove, stay in place, or killing the entire mangrove?
I understand.
Because EMA has a set of people who do not apply themselves properly. The CEO is not the person who, according to the Constitution, is supposed to be filling that position. According to the Constitution, the EMA is supposed to be filled by PhD level in the appropriate qualification.
Yes.
The next thing is the pumps. The pumps is a source of a lot of put that clear on corruption. The fuel injectors always have to change. Cylinder head always have to service. Starters always have to be serviced.
I do apologize. We are out of time, but information well taken.
Just let me finish this. The one pump by the Carney River Bridge was changed to an electrical pump. The pump was obtained from WASA. The turbine to do the pump was obtained from the racetrack, the material for the race. Now, the reason why it was changed to electrical is to avoid the fraud. Because 440 high voltage, you can't go and interfere. So, okay, thanks.
Thank you, my friend. So, viewers, information well at hand. This is why we tell you to call in, because there are experts out there who are looking at Real Talk. I do want to thank you for viewing us. We will be live tomorrow, viewers, Thursday the 1st of December, right here on Real Talk. Until we meet again, good night.